Hello and welcome to the Gen X Dad and his Gen Z Teens podcast. We are a program that takes a lighthearted look at generational differences about all sorts of topics. We explore things in pop culture, history, politics, but only at a very shallow level. We don't aim to be controversial or be the authoritative voice on any topic. We are not social scientists, nor scientists of any sort for that matter. We're just here to talk about things that we think are interesting and that we'll have fun talking about. Today's topic, we're going to talk about sports drinks and energy drinks. Now, there was a time when that giant market that exists now did not exist. I actually remember I was just becoming a teenager when really I would say the first sports drink hit the market, and that was Gatorade. There was only 2 flavors at the time. They only came in quart bottles, glass bottles at that. And it was awesome. Other than that, before that, it was just water in a cooler that you had. And so it was kind of crazy. It was the green kind of lemon lime flavor and the orange were the original 2 flavors. And then about a year later, they came out with the red, and then boom, then they started coming out with all sorts of different flavors and colors after that. And they really had the market for a long time until Coca-Cola created Powerade as a competitor. But I don't know if it's just because I started with Gatorade, but I do think Gatorade just tastes better, at least the original flavors. And again, I still like the lemon lime and the orange as my favorite. And that was pretty much it for a long time. Just kind of those 2 things. There wasn't really much else in the way of sports drinks. Gatorade got to be huge with their marketing and everything else and sponsorships. I mean, every sports team had that. And it was really quite a while later before energy drinks came about. Now, I was not a teenager when the first energy drinks came out, but it started with something called like 5-Hour Energy, which was these little shot things. And to be honest, to this day, I've still never had one. You can occasionally still see them in convenience stores. But I guess it was just like pure caffeine. That was in sort of the late 90s, early 2000s. And then at least the first time I remember something was Red Bull. As one of the original kind of energy drinks that was a bit bigger. Now, it still wasn't a full 12 ounces. They sold them in skinny ones, cans. But I did drink some of that. That was kind of a popular beverage, especially actually to mix with adult beverages when I was living over in Europe. And I didn't necessarily love the taste, but it's not bad. But Red Bull's really done some interesting stuff as far as just sports marketing and what they've got into with that. Which I guess leads me back to, I would say before specific energy drinks, probably Mountain Dew, which I was never a big fan of. But Mountain Dew billed itself as a high energy, high caffeine, high sugar drink to go out there and tear things up. So that's kind of the evolution, at least as far as what I remember and what I experienced. What I am interested with you guys, because now, I mean, between Monster Energy was kind of maybe the next one after Red Bull that went really big. But I mean, there's just quite a few energy drinks and sports drinks that are out there right now. So what I'd like to do is get your take on what do you guys think about sports or energy drinks, and let's start with that.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy both sports and energy drinks. I drink either of them, decently often. And yeah, I think they're good. Like, some, the crossovers kind of between you can kind of get sports drinks with energy drinks that Gatorade's making and Monster's making. I think those are pretty cool. It's a good combination, especially when you have, some sort of sport event and you need the electrolytes, but it's nice to have a little boost from the caffeine. So, yeah.
Do you have a favorite brand or kind of go-to?
Yeah, for sports drinks, I would say I pretty much almost always go with Gatorade. It's just kind of my preference. And I also like the liquid IV powder that you can get, especially at during sports games or matches or stuff like that. And for energy drinks, my favorites are usually either Ghost energy drinks or Monsters.
Okay, yeah, I even forgot about the powders. Yeah, the powders, that Gatorade did come out with the powdered version. If you didn't want to buy it in the quarts, if you want to make a bigger bit of it growing up. So we used to buy big boxes of the powder for our sports team. So I did forget about the powders and how you can do that. What about you? What do you think on sports drinks? What's your opinion on them?
Yeah, I enjoy both of them. I don't have energy drinks that often, but I'm pretty like I have both of them kind of occasionally. I definitely say, Gatorade is my go-to sports drink. I mean, I don't really have any other sports drinks. I mean, it's kind of just like all reliable, I guess. But for energy drinks, I mean, like, it really doesn't matter. As long as it just seems good and doesn't have like too much bad stuff in it, then it's whatever.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, I don't drink a lot of energy drinks, but occasionally when I do want one, I do like the Monster. They have a couple of sugar-free ones that are pretty good. One comes in kind of a white can. It's a lemon lime flavor. I like that one. But have you guys ever like hit those things too hard and gotten the shakes? Like I've known people who have, at least with the little 5-hour energy drinks, gave themselves the shakes from the caffeine. Have you ever seen or ever had that to happen to you?
No, not really, because usually I use caffeine when I'm already pretty tired, so I usually don't get to that point where I'm shaking. I usually actually kind of need the boost, but I have definitely seen it happen. I've just never really experienced it myself.
What about you?
No, I've never gotten the shakes. That's just because I mainly just use energy drinks like more as a tool when I'm tired than something I consistently do.
All right, so I see this at work sometimes. I don't know. I'm interested to see if you guys see this at school, which is, I'm a coffee drinker. Certainly most people older are. However, I do see some of the young guys at places where I work will walk in the mornings with an energy drink. Do you guys see that at school or anything like that?
Yeah, that's pretty common for someone to have an energy drink. Some people still come in, it's like there's Starbucks or Dutch Bros coffees, but a lot of times, you see people with a can of energy drinks or, an energy drink from Dutch Bros or someplace like that.
Do you see that?
Yeah, I see it pretty often too.
So do you think it's just it's just kind of a wake me up like I use a coffee in the morning, or do you think it's because they've been up gaming or whatever else all night?
I think for the most part, it's just a basic kind of morning pick me up, like anyone's morning cup of coffee. But there are other people that use it for to stay up all night and do whatever.
Okay. So with that, what do you guys think about? I mean, I don't know if this is a crossover, but Prime. Can you talk to me a little bit about that history probably better than me, but that's a pretty good flavor. But what do you think on Prime?
Prime is not good because it's just a bunch of, I mean, when you look at like the actual ingredients, it's basically just a bunch of artificial sweeteners and the electrolytes in it. You don't really need that many of them.
And who's the influencer they're associated with?
It's Logan Paul and KSI.
Okay. What you have any thoughts on Prime?
Yeah, I don't think it's really, I guess, a brand that's gone in a great direction. I mean, I think their flavors are not great. I think, their traditional sports drinks are a lot better, and I don't think Prime really offers much. It's very kind of artificial.
Okay. Any other thoughts on energy drinks or anything? Have you guys ever had Red Bull?
I've never had Red Bull.
Yeah, I've had Red Bull before, and I've had, like your traditional Monster can. But for the most part, I usually drink like the Monster Rehabs or the Ghost energy drinks.
Yeah, we actually have some here that are not Ghost. What did we get?
The Monster Rehabs.
Oh, okay.
Which is like a energy drink and a sports drink in one.
Yeah, those are actually pretty good. I like those. I mean, I don't drink them that often, but I've had one before, and I thought it was pretty good. All right, any final thoughts? Getting head nods? Nope. Okay. So with that, we'll call it a day. I'm interested if anybody out there wants to talk about sports drinks or energy drinks that they like. Again, the options are pretty incredible. It's a huge market now. That did not exist back in the 80s for Gen Xers. But we did watch the start of it with Gatorade coming out of the University of Florida Gators, and seen that grow into something just enormous. But that's all that we have for today. Again, if you enjoyed what we talked about, please hit a like, follow us. It really helps the channel. We appreciate it. And this has been the Gen X Dad and his Gen Z teens. Thanks.